and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk about a pleasant aspect of tax time, and there aren't very many, but in this case we have a free service that is available to you through the Commissioner of Revenue's office. My guest is Mary Joyner from that office. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you, Robin. It's nice to be here.
This is a service. You all provide tax preparation assistance for free for state taxes, is that?
That's correct. And they just need, the individual needs to bring in their federal return along with all of the attachments like W-2s and 1099s, and we'll be happy to prepare that state return at no charge for individual citizens. It doesn't have to just be a citizen of the City of Hampton. It's perhaps you work here in the City of Hampton and you can come over on your lunch hour. And so as long as you're a Virginia resident filing a return.
Is this a state mandated service that you have to provide?
It is not mandated, but it is a service that the state allows us to provide.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Not every locality does, though.
And they may offer some sort of service, but it does vary. The services vary from locality to locality. We're very fortunate to have a Commissioner of the Revenue, Ross Mugler, who encourages all services for his citizens, and it makes a big difference in the office.
That's really cool. So how do I do it? If I want to take advantage of this, what do I need to do and what's the timing?
You need to come in to our office. We don't take appointments. It is on a first come, first served basis. So you may have to wait a little bit, but we try to be as efficient as possible. We want to make sure that we are addressing all of your needs. You bring in with you your federal tax return, W-2s, 1099s, anything that has state withholding from your income. And we'll then use your federal return to prepare that state return. And if you have no changes from the prior year, for example, your name doesn't change, your address doesn't change, the filing status doesn't change. Through our internet connection with the state of Virginia, we're able to then accelerate that refund so that you may receive that refund if you're due one. Generally, that's who we have come into our office, or those that are most worried about how quickly will this happen.
Yeah.
You can get that refund in as little as 3 days. They can take up to 8 weeks, so we can't tell every person that you're going to get that refund that quickly, but we do have the opportunity with that connection to the state of Virginia's website.
Well, this is really a huge benefit because for people, I mean, you still have to figure out how to do your own federal tax. But for people who make below a certain amount, you can go through the IRS website and be connected with one of those third-party preparers and use their software for free. If you buy it, and if you make more than the minimum, you have to pay, but you can at least do that for your federal return, but they don't do the state.
Right. And back in the day, the state allowed individuals to go to their website in a very similar method. That was taken away. So for those with more complicated returns, they certainly are best served by hiring a tax preparer. Not everybody can afford.
So people who maybe have a lot of dividends or who have, sold things or have complications, forms I probably don't even know about, but partnerships or self-employed or anything like that. It would be...
they generally hire a tax preparer.
You kind of have to,
right.
Usually.
But there are many people who have a relatively simple return who can go to the federal website, as you had described a moment ago, and prepare their own return. But to prepare the state return, they're limited unless they want to pay. Now, there are different software companies that will allow you to pay, it's not a large amount, but for some of us, every $20, it makes a difference.
Well, and sometimes it's extra not just to prepare it, but to e-file it. And you go ahead and do the e-filing.
We do have e-filing services, and that's a little different.
Oh, so you don't have to e-file, you just have a direct link.
Right.
Because it's within your business jurisdiction.
Exactly, right.
You are the state. You're the person I mail mine to back when I used to mail it.
Exactly, and we still do have plenty of people who mail their returns into us. And
okay.
You're absolutely right. The electronic filing is a different system, and we can electronically file both the federal and state returns for Hampton citizens or for employees of the city of Hampton. We do tend to limit those electronic filing services to either citizens or employees of the city of Hampton and the city school board. But we have, what we do ask is that the individual bring in their federal return and all documents that were used for that federal return. We enter it into a software program that's very similar to one you can purchase. We enter it into that software program, the federal. We prepare the state return, and then we electronically file both the federal and the state returns. But you cannot have yet filed that federal return.
If you've mailed off your federal return, you can't do anything about it because it's already gone.
The only thing we can do is prepare your state return and utilize that connection with the state of Virginia to accelerate that refund if you qualify. We talked about that being, any changes in your name and your address or in your filing status from the prior year.
So how busy are you around this time of year, Mary?
Very busy, very busy. We've got a great dedicated staff. They are absolutely wonderful, very knowledgeable. And that's why, being on a first come, first served basis, there are times that individuals have to wait for our services. We hope that it's worth the wait. And we always tell them, we tell them our office hours, and we encourage you, if you don't have the opportunity to wait for someone available to assist you, to come back. And I know that that's a huge inconvenience, but at the same time, you can wait.
When you're getting a service for free, you have to sometimes compromise on the length of time or the wait. You can pay for having an appointment and cutting that line if you're paying for the service.
Right.
It's a little different. So, for state filing, the tax deadline that's in everybody's head is April 15th because that's the federal deadline. But there's a little cushion there on the state, right?
There is, in May 1st.
Yay!
Yeah. And it's so funny because there are people who owe for state returns, and we accept, of course, we will assist anyone with their state return, including those who owe. And those returns tend to be prepared in our office pretty much between maybe April 1st and May 1st. But there are those who are very well aware of that cushion you just mentioned.
None of us want to write the check, but we especially don't want to have to write it any sooner than we have to.
Absolutely, surely don't.
Okay, so tell people where you guys are located and what your hours are.
We're located at 1 Franklin Street. That is in the Rupert Sargent building on the first floor.
Which a lot of people know is the school administration building, but it's more than that.
It is. It's the newest high-rise there in the city of Hampton for the city offices there. And we're on the first floor, makes it convenient, and our office hours Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Is there anything I've forgotten to ask you about?
No, if they have any questions, they can call our office at 727-6690. I can't think you've asked all the questions that I would certainly have addressed. So,
well, we
job.
got the important part: how to do it, and that it's free, and that you need to remember to bring your federal tax filing and any supporting documents.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, Mary. Look forward to. About how many people do you help a year? Do you have any idea?
I do. We help it varies from year to year and the type of services. We generally electronically file about 250 returns each year. That means that where we have entered the federal return and prepared the state and electronically sent them. And then we probably rough average 10 to 15,000 returns that flow through our office at some level of assistance offered there.
Well, that is a huge service to taxpayers, because if you think about, if you had to buy that tax preparer program, they're probably, when I used to buy them, they were like $100. They're probably more than that now. Then you have to pay extra to e-file. You need to buy the state program sometimes separately than the federal. I mean, that's a big savings.
It is a big savings, and every bit helps now. And I'm sure it has always helped, but especially now. The economy is improving, but there are still those challenges. But what is also an important consideration is the state return can be challenging for some people.
It's different than the federal. It's got some different wording, and the lines don't line up. And
there are certain deductions, like for example, the state does not tax Social Security. So that is a subtraction, but there are other differences that our staff, with their level and years of experience, can help navigate those challenges for you.
Okay, well, thank you, Mary. Look forward to it, and I'm sure there are lots of people who are thrilled to hear that you guys are waiting to help them.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. I hope you will think about taking advantage of this service and accelerating getting your refund a little sooner if you're due one. And if you have any questions about your state return, not advisors exactly, not doing the complicated returns maybe as well, but for many of us with pretty straightforward income and deductions, it might be a possibility for you. Thanks for watching.